Hi, I'm Megan. Welcome to today's live reading of Bees in Loretta's Bonnet by Lois Wickstrom, presented by Itsy Bitsy Book Bits. Join me. Loretta tied on her new brown knit bonnet. Then she buttoned her coat, zipped her boots, and wiggled her fingers into her mittens. Snow covered the woodpile, so she knew she had to bundle up. When she got to the woodpile, she tried to lift a log from the top, but the logs were frozen together. Loretta picked up her shovel and poked the blade into a gap. Then she leaned onto the handle of the shovel, making a lever, to pry a few logs loose from the stack. The logs didn't budge. She kept working. A strong gust of wind lifted her bonnet off her head and carried it into the woods. She leaned harder. The ice cracked and several logs came loose. She forgot about her bonnet. She grabbed the armload of logs and carried them to the stone floor in front of her living room fireplace. A delicate brown tube rolled away from the logs. She picked it up gently. "What's this?" Loretta asked her mother. "It looks like somebody made it." "Not somebody," said her mother. "Some bees. We're lucky. We're going to have leafcutter bees to pollinate our garden next spring. Leafcutter bees are even better pollinators than honeybees." "What do bees do with a toy?" asked Loretta. "This isn't a toy, it's a nest. The mama bee laid her eggs here. Her children will come out next spring." "I'll take the nest outside so the bees will find flowers when they hatch," said Loretta. "Put your bonnet on before you go out," said her mother. Loretta felt the top of her head. Her bonnet was gone. Then she remembered. It blew away. "It's a good thing we didn't give away last year's bonnet." Her mother put Loretta's old blue bonnet on her head and tied a bow under her chin. Loretta took the rolled leaf nest back to the woodpile and tucked it into a gap between logs in the woodpile. She put the open end slightly lower than the closed end so rain or melting snow wouldn't fall in. The days became warmer, snow melted. The neat leaf nest still looked the same. Loretta walked into the woods looking for her brown knit bonnet. She didn't see it anywhere. Broken branches fell from trees. Loretta carried them home to her woodpile. Leaves grew on the lilac and the rose bushes. Aphids and ladybugs appeared on the leaves. Loretta let the ladybugs crawl on her arm. They tickled. One day in early June, Loretta saw 2 holes in the leaf nest. She looked in the holes. The cells were empty. "The bees must be flying somewhere," she said. The next time she checked the nest, she saw more holes, 5 in all. There was a 6th cell, but it didn't open. "It's okay, you can peek," said her mother. Gently, Loretta peeled back the crackly old leaves. Inside, she found yellow pollen and a dry little knob. "That must be the bee egg," she said. "Sometimes eggs don't grow," said her mother. "We have 5 bees that did grow," said her father. "We'll have a good garden this year." "The other bees ate their pollen," said Loretta. "Where did they go?" "Sometimes leafcutter bees make homes in rose bushes," said her mom. "They burrow holes in the whitest branches to make their nests." Loretta looked and looked. She didn't see any holes in the branches, but she did see holes in the leaves. Round holes, about 3/4 of an inch across. "Leafcutter bees cut those circles to make their nests," said her father. "That must be why they're called leafcutter bees," said Loretta, "because they cut leaves." "They're somewhere nearby," said her mother. "Maybe they're in the woods," said Loretta. "There are plenty of branches there." Loretta walked to the woods. She looked and walked. Then she heard a gentle buzz. One solitary bee flew right over her head, carrying a curled leaf cutting against her belly. Loretta watched the bee. It flew right to the cracked branch, right up to Loretta's lost bonnet. "You found my bonnet," Loretta said to the bee. She started to reach for it. Then she remembered that some bees sting and pulled her hand back. "You can have my bonnet," she said. "We can make a home for the bees in our yard," said her dad. "We can make them with your baking parchment. We'll roll it into straws." "That will be fun," said Loretta. "I want more bees than can fit in my bonnet." The end.